I have seen many things in my time. I have watched people chase secrets to long life in bottles of pills, in fancy diets, and in grueling exercise routines. Some of them worked a little. Some did not work at all. But the real secret, the one that adds not just years but good years after 70, is something most people overlook. It is not complicated. It is not expensive. It does not require special skills. It is just the simple habit of moving every single day. Not for hours. Not with pain. Just moving. And I will tell you why this one habit can add a decade to your life when most people start slowing down. I remember a man I once knew. He was strong in his youth, full of energy, but as the years passed, he did what so many do. He sat more. He rested more. He believed that aging meant slowing down. By the time he reached 70, his body had stiffened. His legs were weaker. His balance was not what it used to be. A small fall became a big injury. A few months of reduced activity turned into a permanent limitation. And soon, he was gone. I have seen it happen again and again. But I have also seen the opposite. I knew another man, a quiet one who never made a fuss. Every morning, he walked. Just a little. Even when he did not feel like it. Even when the weather was not perfect. He would walk to the store. He would walk in his yard. He would move his arms, stretch his legs, and keep his body in motion. He was still moving at 90, while others around him had long given up. He did not just live longer. He lived better. He stayed independent. He avoided the slow decline that traps so many. This is what people do not realize. After 70, the body does not bounce back the way it once did. If you stop moving, the muscles weaken faster. The joints stiffen quicker. The heart does not work as well. A week of lying around can take months to recover from. But if you keep moving, even just a little every day, you keep your body working. You keep your balance. You keep your strength. And that one habit, that daily movement, adds years to your life. Good years. Years where you can stand on your own. Dress yourself. Cook your own meals. Live in your own home. That is what movement gives you. Freedom. I understand why people stop. Pain sets in. The body aches. It feels easier to sit, to rest, to take it easy. But I will tell you something most doctors will not. If you stop because of pain, the pain will only get worse. The less you move, the more your joints stiffen, and the more your muscles shrink. Then, even small movements hurt more. It becomes a cycle. Less movement. More pain. Even less movement. Even more pain. And before you know it, you are stuck in a chair. Trapped. And when you are trapped, life itself starts slipping away. But if you move, even just a little, everything changes. The pain does not disappear overnight. But it lessens. The stiffness fades. The body starts working again. And when the body moves, the mind follows. You stay sharper. You feel more alive. You sleep better. You digest food better. You breathe better. Everything gets better just by moving. I have lived long enough to see the difference between those who move and those who stop. The ones who stop say they are saving their energy. They say they are being careful. But what they are really doing is letting their bodies shut down before their time. The ones who move, even just a little each day, are the ones who stay around longer. They are the ones still laughing, still walking, still making their own choices when others have given control away. I knew a woman who started moving late in life. At 75, she realized she was losing her strength. So she made a choice. She started walking. At first, just around her house. Then, down the block. Then, a little farther. At 85, she was still moving. She did not need help getting out of a chair. She did not fear a flight of stairs. And when I asked her the secret, she smiled and said, "I never stopped." You do not need a gym. You do not need fancy shoes. You do not need a plan. You just need to move. Walk to the corner. Stand up and sit down a few times. Stretch your arms. Move your legs. Do it every single day, no matter how you feel. Especially when you do not feel like it. That is when it matters most. People always look for the easy way. They want a pill, a shortcut. But the body does not work that way. If you do not use it, you lose it. And once it is lost, getting it back is not easy. But if you use it every day, even just a little, it will carry you far longer than you ever expected. I am telling you this because I have seen what happens when people ignore it. I have seen strong men turn frail too soon. I have seen independent women become dependent just because they stopped moving. And I have seen those who kept going, who refused to sit still, live longer and better. If you want to add 10 good years after 70, there is no magic trick. Just move. Every day. No matter what. Because the moment you stop moving is the moment you start fading. And life is too precious to fade away before your time. Now, let's clear some common questions. What specific types of movements are best for maintaining strength, balance, and independence after 70? I have seen many people grow old before their time, not because their bodies gave out, but because they stopped using them. I have watched strong men become frail, independent women start needing help, and sharp minds grow foggy, all because they stopped moving. But I have also seen those who refused to let age take them too soon. The ones who moved every day, even when it was hard. Even when they did not feel like it. And those were the ones who stayed strong, balanced, and free. The movements that keep you strong after 70 are not complicated. You do not need a gym or special equipment. You do not need long workouts that leave you sore and exhausted. What you need is movement that keeps your legs steady, your back straight, and your hands strong. Movements that let you rise from a chair without struggling. That let you walk without fear of falling. That let you reach for something without losing your balance. One of the most important things you can do is to simply stand up and sit down. Over and over again. I have seen too many people who, once they start using their arms to push themselves out of a chair, never stop. Then one day, they cannot get up at all. If you can stand without using your hands, practice it every day. If you need your hands, work on using them less. This one movement strengthens your legs, keeps your balance sharp, and makes sure you never lose the ability to stand on your own. Walking is another movement that keeps you strong. But not just shuffling from one room to another. Walk with purpose. Swing your arms. Lift your feet. Feel the ground under you. And if you can, walk outside. The fresh air, the uneven ground, the changes in terrain all train your body to stay balanced. I have known people who stopped walking long distances, thinking they were saving their energy. But what they were really doing was making sure they would one day lose the ability to walk at all. If you want to keep your balance, you have to challenge it. Stand on one foot while brushing your teeth. Hold onto the counter if you need to, but work on letting go. Shift your weight from side to side. Walk heel to toe in a straight line like you are walking on a tightrope. These small movements keep your body ready for the unexpected. They make sure that when you step on something uneven, when the floor is slippery, when you misjudge a step, your body knows how to catch itself. Strength is not just about muscles. It is about grip. About being able to hold on to something without your hands failing you. I have seen men who could still walk just fine but could not open a jar. Could not turn a doorknob. Could not hold on to something tightly enough to keep themselves from falling. If you want to keep your independence, keep your hands strong. Squeeze a ball. Open jars yourself instead of asking for help. Hold onto a towel and twist it as hard as you can. Do not let your grip fade away. Your back is the pillar of your body. If it is weak, everything else suffers. If it is strong, you stand tall, you breathe better, and you move without pain. Simple movements like pulling your shoulders back, standing against a wall and pressing your head, shoulders, and lower back against it, or simply lying on the floor and stretching your arms and legs out can keep your back from curling forward, from collapsing in on itself. I have seen too many people shrink, not because they got shorter, but because their backs gave in. Flexibility keeps you moving smoothly. Without it, every movement feels stiff. Every step feels risky. Stretching your arms overhead, reaching down to touch your toes, twisting side to side, all of these keep your body loose and ready. If you do not stretch, your muscles tighten. Your joints stiffen. And one day, a simple reach for something will feel impossible. Breathing is movement too. Deep breaths that fill your lungs, that expand your ribs, that keep your chest open. I have watched people start to breathe shallower as they age, and with that, their energy fades. Their voices weaken. Their bodies slow down. Breathe deeply every day. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Let your lungs fill completely. I have seen what happens to those who move and those who do not. The ones who move stay in control of their lives. They get up on their own. They dress themselves. They go where they want to go. The ones who stop moving start losing pieces of their life. First, they struggle to stand. Then, they stop walking far. Then, they need help with things they once did easily. And before they know it, they are no longer living on their own terms. It does not take hours. It does not take pain. It does not take anything special. It just takes a decision. A decision to move every day. To keep standing, walking, balancing, gripping, stretching, breathing. To do the things that keep you strong, that keep you steady, that keep you free. If you want to stay independent after 70, if you want to keep living life instead of just watching it pass by, then move. Every single day. No matter what. Because the moment you stop moving is the moment you start fading. How can someone who struggles with motivation build a habit of daily movement that actually sticks? I have heard every excuse. I have seen every struggle. I have watched people say they will start moving tomorrow, only for tomorrow to turn into next week. Then next month. Then never. I have seen people wait for the right time. Wait for the pain to go away. Wait for the weather to be better. But waiting never makes it easier. It only makes it harder. The body stiffens. The mind resists. And before long, the simple act of moving feels impossible. The hardest part is not the movement itself. It is starting. It is overcoming that voice that says, "Not today. Maybe later." That voice is strong. It will tell you that you are too tired. That it will hurt. That it is not worth it. That you have earned your rest. But I will tell you something. The only real rest is the kind that comes after movement. The kind that feels good because your body has been used the way it was meant to be. The kind that lets you sleep deeply, breathe fully, and wake up ready to live another day. The trick is to stop thinking about it. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is like the wind. It comes and goes. You cannot rely on it. What you can rely on is habit. And habit starts with a decision. A decision to move, no matter how you feel. No matter what your mind says. You do not have to start big. In fact, you should not. I have seen too many people try to do too much at once, only to give up when it feels overwhelming. But if you start small, you have no reason to stop. Stand up and sit down 5 times before breakfast. Walk to the end of the driveway. Stretch your arms above your head when you wake up. That is all it takes. And once you do that, the hardest part is over. You have moved. And movement leads to more movement. Before you know it, 5 turns into 10. The short walk becomes a little longer. The stretches feel easier. The body starts to crave what it once resisted. The secret is to tie movement to something you already do. Do not rely on remembering. Do not rely on willpower. Tie it to something unshakable. If you drink coffee every morning, stand up and stretch while the coffee brews. If you watch television in the evening, stand up during the commercials. If you brush your teeth, balance on one foot while you do it. These small moments add up. They turn into habits without you even realizing it. And once movement becomes part of your day, it is no longer something you have to force yourself to do. It is just something you do. The mind will still resist. It will tell you that missing one day is fine. That skipping today will not make a difference. But missing one day often turns into missing two. Then 3. Then a week. Then you are back where you started. If you do not feel like moving, that is when you need it the most. When your body feels heavy. When your mind is foggy. When you are in a bad mood. Those are the days when movement will change everything. I once knew a man who struggled to move after an injury. He told himself he needed to rest. That his body needed time. But days turned into weeks. His muscles weakened. His energy faded. And the less he moved, the worse he felt. Then one day, he made a choice. He stood up and walked 5 steps. The next day, 10. The next, 15. It was slow. It was frustrating. But he did it every day. And after some time, he was back to walking freely. If he had waited for motivation, he would still be waiting. Pain stops many people from moving. But what they do not realize is that not moving makes the pain worse. Stiffness sets in. The joints grow tighter. The muscles shrink. And the longer they avoid movement, the harder it becomes. The key is to move gently. To listen to the body, but not give in to its complaints. A little discomfort is not a reason to stop. It is a sign that the body is waking up. That it is remembering how to move again. Some people need a reason beyond themselves. They need something that pulls them forward. If that is you, find a reason. Maybe it is to be able to pick up your grandchild. To walk to the park without stopping. To stay strong enough to live on your own. To be able to dance at a wedding. Hold on to that reason. Make it bigger than your excuses. And when your mind tells you to skip a day, remind yourself why you started. I have seen what happens to those who move and those who do not. The ones who move stay in control. They remain independent. They live longer, yes, but more importantly, they live better. The ones who wait, who let the days slip by without movement, wake up one day to find that their strength is gone. That their balance is failing. That their body is no longer theirs to command. Do not let that happen. Start now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Stand up. Stretch your arms. Take a step. Do something, no matter how small. Because every movement keeps you alive. Every step keeps you free. And once you start, never stop. What is the single most important piece of advice for someone who wants to live not just longer, but better, after 70? I have lived long enough to see what makes the difference between a life that fades too soon and one that stays full of strength, purpose, and joy. It is not luck. It is not wealth. It is not even good genes. I have seen men with strong bodies waste away because they gave up on life. And I have seen those who were dealt a weak hand stay sharp and independent far beyond what anyone expected. If there is one piece of advice I could give to anyone who wants not just to live longer but to live better after 70, it is this. Do not stop moving, thinking, or connecting with the world. The moment you stop, life starts slipping away. I have watched too many people retire from life, not just from work. They tell themselves they have earned their rest. That they deserve to take it easy. And at first, it feels good. They sit more. They do less. They let the younger ones handle things. But then, something happens. The days grow quiet. The body stiffens. The mind slows. The things that once felt easy become difficult. And before they know it, life becomes smaller and smaller. Until one day, they look around and wonder where the time went. Why they feel so tired. Why everything feels like an effort. The people who live well after 70 are the ones who refuse to fade. They wake up with purpose. They move even when they do not feel like it. They stay curious. They stay engaged. They do not let themselves become invisible. They keep finding reasons to live instead of waiting for life to give them one. And the ones who do this, I have seen them live not just longer, but better. Movement is the foundation of it all. Without it, everything else falls apart. I have seen people who once walked with confidence start to hesitate. They take shorter steps. They avoid uneven ground. They start using their hands to push themselves out of chairs. And before they realize it, their body has forgotten how to move freely. The key is never to stop. Walk every day. Stand up and sit down without using your hands. Stretch your arms over your head. If you do not use your body, you lose it. And once you lose it, getting it back is no small task. But living well is not just about moving the body. It is about keeping the mind awake. I have seen brilliant minds turn dull, not because of age, but because they stopped feeding their curiosity. They stopped learning. Stopped asking questions. Stopped challenging themselves. The ones who stay sharp are the ones who keep reading, keep solving problems, keep having conversations that make them think. It does not matter what you learn, only that you keep learning. Teach yourself something new. Play games that make you think. Talk to people who see the world differently. The brain is like a muscle. If you do not use it, it weakens. Just as important as the body and the mind is the heart. I have seen too many people grow old alone, not because no one cared about them, but because they pulled away. They stopped reaching out. Stopped making the effort. They told themselves they did not want to be a burden. That they were fine on their own. But no one is fine alone for too long. We are meant to stay connected. To laugh. To share stories. To have people who check on us and people we check on. The ones who live well after 70 are the ones who keep their relationships alive. They make phone calls. They join groups. They talk to strangers. They do not let themselves drift into loneliness. I have lived long enough to see that the people who age well are not the ones who avoid all hardship. They are not the ones who have had the easiest lives. In fact, many of the strongest people I know have faced more loss, more pain, and more struggle than most. But they do not let it harden them. They do not let it turn them bitter. They keep finding reasons to smile. They keep finding beauty in the world. They do not waste their time complaining about things they cannot change. Instead, they focus on what they can do. They take joy in small things. They appreciate what they have. The truth is, life after 70 is not the beginning of the end. It is just another chapter. And whether that chapter is full of strength and purpose or full of decline and regret is up to you. The people who live well are the ones who treat each day as something worth living. They do not wait for a reason to get up in the morning. They create one. They do not dwell on what they have lost. They focus on what they still have. I have watched people much younger than me grow old in their hearts long before their bodies gave out. And I have seen people in their 90s who still have fire in their eyes, who still wake up looking forward to the day. The difference is not in the years. It is in how they choose to live them. Keep moving. Keep thinking. Keep connecting. That is the secret. And once you start, never stop. If you liked today's discussion, don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel, so until next time, take care.